Since I launched the channel about a year and a half ago, this King Kong Core backpack has been the wildcard bag that I've reviewed so far, in the sense that it has really pleasantly surprised me and surpassed whatever expectations. Given the fact that this isn't my full-time job, and each bag that I review, every video I put out, like there's a lot of time and energy required to do so, I've gotten increasingly more particular about the products that I'm reviewing. And candidly, this is one that I was a little bit on the fence about. I think mainly just their target demographic are like people that are like pretty hardcore about working out or CrossFit. And even though I have a pretty active lifestyle, having a super specialized backpack for when I go to the gym isn't something that I value as much as like an everyday carry backpack. With that being said, I've been using it for the last 3 weeks. I signed up for a gym membership not long ago. It's like a 10-minute walk from my house, and I've just been walking there every day. It's been a game changer. And I thought I'd be testing this bag for, like a week or so and then like going back to something else, but I have continued using this bag, and I'll talk about why that is. I'll bring up a few nitpicks that I have as always. I'll pack it out with a gym loadout so you can see what comfortably fits in there. And then lastly, I'll share my thoughts on how this bag fares, not only as a dedicated gym bag, but also as a hybrid of a gym and an EDC backpack. So let's get into it. The things that have stood out to me the most on this bag are the attention to detail, which I'll highlight in full right now. Secondly is just the zipper smoothness, which if you've seen any of my other videos, it plays a pretty pivotal role in how much I appreciate a bag. And then lastly is just this flip top lid access. Starting off with the attention to detail, it was very clear that this is a brand that cares deeply about the customer experience. This limited edition Waxed Canvas version comes in this like really sweet wooden box. I guarantee you 99.9% of people that buy this backpack are gonna keep that box and like figure out something to do with it. It comes with a genuine leather wallet as well as a little keychain with a genuine leather pull. Granted, I spent almost 4 years selling software to e-commerce brands. I got the impression that this was like a well-oiled e-commerce machine where you're paying more for the marketing than you are the actual product. I was kind of worried like the whole presentation was kind of a distraction from the actual product, but I was wrong. First thing that stood out to me, and the reason why I even agreed to take the bag, is that they're using waxed canvas from Hallie Stevenson's, which is a Scottish mill that's been around since the mid-1800s. They're one of the golden standards when it comes to waxed canvas. Evergoods has partnered with them to make the fabric for their wax canvas products, like their, Cap 1, Cap 2, like I think those are limited edition ones, as well as like the wax canvas CTB and CPL line. The wax canvas itself, I think, is a nice thickness. It doesn't feel like super heavy duty. If I was guessing, I'd say maybe like like 11 ounces, 12 ounces. It didn't specify on the website, but a beautiful thing about that is that the bag weighs 2.2 pounds. I don't think I've seen a wax canvas bag that has a volume similar to this one at 25 liters that isn't at least like 3.4, 3.5 pounds. That's really nice. Beyond that, you have like real leather on the grab handles. The zipper pulls that have the logo embossed into it are this like beautiful like pebbled leather patch here. On the inside, you also have, by the laptop compartment, a leather patch, and then another leather tab here, and the actual strap keepers are leather, which are super nice. The ends of the sternum strap as well as the straps themselves are also leather. So really nice touches there, and the actual like ripstop nylon liner that they're using also feels pretty nice, and I really dig the color as well. Second thing that I love about this bag is the zipper smoothness. All of the zippers except for one, which is one of my nitpicks, which I'll get into after, are incredibly smooth. And one of the reasons why it's also a standout feature for this bag is because it was something that I was also pleasantly surprised with. Getting into the main compartment, look at this. This is, I'm sitting down right now, but super rounded edges. Typically bags with this design, it's not a super smooth zipper experience, but look at that. Incredibly smooth. Smooth, super smooth. Love this top quick access pocket, by the way, constantly using it. And then the other place where I was pleasantly surprised is the shoe compartment here at the bottom, also rounded. These shoe compartments oftentimes, like in the corners, you get like friction. It's hard to split around, but I mean, just they really, really did it exceptionally well. Pilgrim Churn Butter zipper smoothness rating, I gave it a 9.3. The only reason why it's not like a 9.4, yeah, I wouldn't say 9.5 level, that's super high, but the reason why it's not 9.4 is because of this zipper, but I'll talk about it now when I get into the nitpicks. And then just the last thing I really appreciate about this bag is this access style, right? The flip top lid, whatever you want to call it. Part of it is the fact that it's an incredibly smooth zipping experience. But the other component is because it's so easy to open and close, unlike a traditional roll top where you have to roll it, or the ones where you have buckles on each side or one buckle where it's a little bit more work. I think it's just really nice having this like top down bucket access style where you don't have to open up the whole bag and you could just like throw your layers into it. And I think from a like gym functionality perspective, it's really great. But with that being said, I think for EDC, it's also really nice. You can get into the laptop compartment pretty easily and just get into the main compartment that way. So I've grown to like really, really appreciate that. And then as far as the nitpicks go, the main ones are this zipper. There's a little snaggage that happens with this webbing that I'll show you right now. Secondly is the laptop compartment execution. And despite the fact that this is a bag designed for gym, I'll explain why. It's still a nitpick for me. And then lastly, there is no luggage pass-through. Shout out to Zach from Vision Swell. He was the one that shared his opinion and I couldn't agree with him more. But starting off here with this zipper. So you'll see here, you have this webbing that has loops on it, right? You can hook stuff onto it, but then this is also Velcroed to the back part. The whole purpose of this is so that they sell separately a weight belt, or you could use your own weight belt, and it goes around through here, as well as through this luggage pass-through looking cavern. Now, what I found is that, and you can kind of adjust with the Velcro to mitigate this issue a little bit, but even still, it bulges out. And so what ends up happening is that with this pocket, the webbing just gets in the way. If you zip it like towards you, that's kind of the trick. It doesn't happen as often, but when you're just like on the go, like you want to mindlessly open something, I think on a future iteration, them just removing the final loop here, it would solve for it. But it's not a huge deal because candidly, out of all of the pockets, the ones that I'm using the most for quick access are this top one, which is a fantastic quick access pocket, as well as this little one. If it was one that I was using a lot more, then we would be like in more of like deal breaker territory. Secondly is the laptop compartment. And now, whereas this bag, right, it's $270. Backpacks are one of the most overlooked investments. I can't tell you how many people I know that like make good money and they just have a shitty backpack that they've had for ages. It's one of those things that you use every day, right? It's an extension of who you are, especially if you go into an office. People are already hesitant to spend that money on a bag for the office. I think for a bag for the gym, it's a niche within a niche, right? So holistically, $270 is a lot for a backpack. $270 for a heritage style wax canvas backpack using Hallie Stevenson's wax canvas that's also comfortable and lightweight, has solid organization, is actually like a really great price point. If you look at like Waterfield Designs or Evergoods, those are already in like the mid 300s to 400s. Once you like jump into the hardcore like heritage stuff like Track, Bradley Mountain, Filson, Frost River, etc., you're getting to the $500-600. So the reason why I bring that up is that I think for anyone that would want to spend this kind of money on a bag for a gym, they would ideally also be able to use it for everyday carry, right? So for people that everyday carry means carrying a laptop, I feel like this laptop sleeve, while it's nice that they included it, is really the main design element in this bag where I feel like, I wouldn't say that it was an afterthought, but I feel like they didn't put the same level of attention and overall quality as they did with the rest of the bag. The sleeve itself is a little flimsy. The mesh, which they're also using for the mesh padding, it's not that it feels cheap, but it also, I don't think, is in line with what you typically see for a bag that's like close to $300. And then on top of it, it has this like little buckle, which I guess, you know, part of the reason is because it is a gym bag, they're giving you a little bit more space so that you could put like non-tech stuff in there if you wanted to. But I just think making this bag more EDC friendly in that way will make it easier for someone to justify that $270 price point. And then speaking of that, the other area is having a luggage pass-through, right? So if this is like my one bag for work and for the gym, the bag that I'm gonna take with me while I'm traveling, having a luggage pass-through would be a really nice value add. Again, shout out to Zach from Vision Swell calling this out, but they like already pretty much have a luggage pass-through, only that it's not wide enough for a traditional luggage handle to go through, and they're using it for the weight belt. So yeah, just maybe like opening it up a little bit more so that it works with a suitcase, or just including a strap like a lot of bags already do. All right, let me walk you through it and pack it out as I go. So little shoe compartment action. I didn't talk about this during the actual review, but worth noting, one thing that I would have maybe liked to see, because I've seen it in a few other gym bags. I'm a size 9. I've got to see exactly up to what size it fits, but typically I'd imagine like 10 and a half, 11. But one of the things that I've seen in some bags is where they have a stash away sleeve embedded into the main compartment, so that when you're not using it, you don't have this like excess fabric. Let me see if I can show you what it looks like there on the inside. But it's not a huge deal. Again, this is a bag designed for little gym action. You have across from it, kind of hard to show with the shoes, but you have like right, there you go. There's like a little mesh sleeve here opposite from it. Since I'm already here, let me pack out this part of it. So extra clothes, I'll throw a sock in that little mesh sleeve that I was talking about. Shirt, shorts, and then when you get to the gym, rocking a sweater and a beanie, you want extra space for it. That fits pretty easily. And then the laptop compartment, this is what I was talking about, where the sleeve itself is just a little flimsy and there's just not a ton of like protection. There's barely a false bottom, so the laptop isn't like super protected. But in case you're gonna rip some emails straight from the gym or something like that. Then top pocket, throw AirPods, and then usually I'll take my phone out of my bag when I'm at the gym. Perfect place for it. There. It does get, you know, like obviously I put a lot of stuff in here, but it starts getting a little tight here. There, I'll throw a little mobile battery bank just to have ready to go. And then other than that, here, little Theragun Mini. So yeah, I mean, you could fit a lot of stuff. The bag actually, like, it doesn't 100% of the time stand on its own, but as long as you have some stuff in there, it does a great job of standing on its own. And then the water bottle pockets, they look short, but they're well designed. I feel like they keep my water bottle nicely in place. Here's a 32-ounce hydro flask, which fits like really well. And then I guess like a little shaker bottle on the opposite side. So final thoughts. Again, this bag has absolutely like really pleasantly surprised me. Getting something that's wax canvas, solid attention to detail with all of the leather accent pieces. The overall construction, build quality of the bag is pretty top notch, with the exception of like maybe the laptop compartment area and then this little design flaw where the zipper gets stuck here. I think if they refine the laptop compartment, and then maybe also, while I do appreciate the fact that it came in this like beautiful box and then you get like a leather wallet as well as like a little leather keychain, those things all cost money to them. And then the weight of the box is going to contribute to the shipping cost. And so me personally, if I had the choice of like getting those things versus eliminating those things and then being at the, I don't know, like $240 price point, then it would make it that much more of a no-brainer to get something like this. But yeah, lesson learned. Don't judge a book by its cover. Really cool bag. I'll definitely continue using it, and I'll keep an eye out for a future iteration. I think with a few subtle changes, this thing can start competing with like other wax canvas bags in a more fierce way. But best of luck. Cheers.